In a League of Their Own podcast is brought to you by Smooth My Balls. Are you sick of snagging your nuts or cutting yourself with a generic Bic razor or generic clipper? Well, now you don't have to worry. Smooth My Balls offers a 5-star below-the-belt care for men, starting with the Turf Chopper 3.0, the next level razor that provides a very smooth and clean finish with no cuts on your sack. And coming in for the closer, you got the Pube Muncher 1.0, a compact mini vac that cleans up a job with no hair left behind. Head over to smoothmyballs.com today and use code LEAGUE at checkout for 15% off your top of the line men's grooming kit. Again, that's LEAGUE, LEAGUE, for 15% off. Smooth My Balls, shave like a pro.
Rep Sports. Rep Sports is a leading supplement and nutrition company that provides everything from pre-workout and protein to recovery supplements. If you're looking for a healthy pick-me-up, Rep also offers Raise Energy, a zero sugar drink that helps with workout and recovery, mental focus as well. Head over to repsports.com today and use code LEAGUE for 15% off your order. That's LEAGUE for 15% off.
Golf kicks. Tired of wearing the same old boring golf shoes? Not the most comfortable? Now you don't have to worry. Customize all types of shoes, from Crocs to flip-flops, sneakers to boat shoes, and wear them in style while you rip it up on the course. Head over to golfkicks.com and use code OWN20 at checkout to get a 20% discount on your order. That's OWN20. Screw your shoes.
Streamer Loot. Want to rep the best up-and-coming sports podcast? Of course you do. Head over to streamerloot.co today and check out our first line of merch. We have t-shirts, sweatshirts, mugs, and stickers. Again, that is streamerloot.co to check out our merch. Hey everybody, it is Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. The Phoenix Suns take a 2-0 series lead over the Clippers, and Montreal is 1 win away from the Stanley Cup Finals.
There goes that man's jockstrap. Oh my God, did you see that?
America's team? Yeah, right.
Oh, baby, it's a big day in sports. There's nothing like battling it out with your teammates all season long to go win a championship.
Green Bay's got it this year.
Huge move for them. I think it's going to be a game changer.
We have a lot to talk about this busy week in the sports world. Welcome to the In a League of Their Own podcast.
All right, again, everybody, welcome. It is Wednesday. It is Hump Day, Wisconsin Wednesday. I always got to throw the rep the home state on Wednesday. Jumping into the NFL here, a couple points. It's actually funny. Every single point I have is, well, not every point. Most of them are somebody fucking up or getting released of getting fucked up or of whatever their past. So I guess I'll start with the one good thing, or actually I'll start with the two good things. Antonio Brown has his probation lifted a year early. For those who remember his incident with a truck driver, basically assaulted the guy. I don't know if there's like they got into like an accident or whatever, and then Antonio Brown basically beat the shit out of the guy. And
it was the moving people that were supposed to be moving his furniture out of his apartment.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, that he got into an argument with that ended up in stuff being thrown. Which was
okay.
The guy filed assault charges.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, whatever his PO says that he's been on his best behavior, it was supposed to go again another year, and that got lifted. So basically, Antonio Brown's pass has been fully lifted because now his
he's good now.
His other thing that he had going on got lifted like a couple months ago as well. So basically everything that's happened over the last 3 or 4 years that have had him in the dark are off his record, or at least he doesn't have to pay fines or see jail time at least. But
yeah, I'm stealing crime in sports word, the phrase that they use every single time that somebody overcomes something like this. It's a pattern. These people have patterns that continue to fuck shit up. So they go, he's good now. He says he's good now. So he's good for right now. We'll see how long that lasts. Hopefully through the rest of his football career.
Hopefully. And then the other kind of, I guess, feel-good news around the NFL is Carl Nassib, a defensive end for the Las Vegas Raiders. came out earlier this week and announced that he is gay, and he's the first active NFL player to do so. And basically, the entire NFL / sports world blew up around this guy. Obviously, everybody giving him kudos, congratulations of taking that step and breaking that barrier that kind of society has put on people who are trying to come out, especially with this kind of profile. Obviously, being a professional athlete, you come out and do something like this, there's a lot more weight behind it versus you or I or somebody off the street just putting it on Facebook and a couple hundred people see it. So the last 2 days, he's actually had his jersey, the top selling jersey on the NFL website as well. So
Probably will be all season.
so there's a lot of people jumping on the train, obviously getting behind this guy. And
I feel like just the world's changing. That's 10 years ago that never would have happened. Now we're in a place where hopefully every single person who feels that way is able to do the same thing and, have equal amount of support.
for sure. So yeah, hopefully if there's, any other players that are in the same boat, hopefully it kind of gets the ball rolling and more people become comfortable as they see fit to say how they feel about anything for that matter. So yeah, those are kind of the two feel good things. The other two things I have related to people fucking up. One being Frank Clark for the Chiefs was arrested. Was that yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. For having possession of an Uzi in his car. For whatever reason, there was suspicion of him having one, so he got pulled over. So somebody had called him in or whatever it was. I didn't see the exact details of like if he's going to see time or if it's just a fine or what's all going on with it. There hasn't really been any comments from his agent or from the team for that matter. They're basically just saying we're aware of the situation and we'll let you know when we have more details or whatever. So yeah, there's that. And then the other one being Cardinals rookie linebacker Zaven Collins is arrested for reckless driving yesterday as well in the Arizona, in the Phoenix area, or Glendale, I should say. So yeah, couple guys kind of giving the NFL some good things to talk about, and a couple other guys doing the exact opposite. So off season's a crazy time. Guys don't know what to do aside from get in trouble, I guess.
Yeah, and I really don't have anything on the NFL today. You kind of went over all the main points, and there's really nothing else too crazy going on other than just this isn't really just NFL news. This is just sports news in general. But Wayne Gretzky, Dustin Johnson, and Steve Nash have officially became owners of the newest expansion of the lacrosse league. This team will be in Las Vegas, Nevada. So, yeah, these three all are in Wayne Gretzky and Dustin Johnson. For those of you who don't know, Dustin Johnson is Wayne's son-in-law since Dustin's married to his daughter, Paulina. So, yeah, small world. Getting Steve Nash on the bandwagon. I didn't know Steve Nash was a lacrosse guy, but seems like he's that type of guy who, the way that he played, physical type of guy, always went through the bumps and bruises. So I'm really not too surprised there.
Yeah. Well, plus when you got that kind of money and you're a head coach, you know the management side of things. If you see something that's worth sticking your money into and you got the millions of dollars in your pocket to do it, why not? So yeah, that's awesome to see those guys kind of all coming together again, overlapping the golf, basketball, and hockey worlds all into one spot. So yeah, I didn't have anything else to add for the NFL either, just those kind of couple points. Yeah, there wasn't really anything else worth mentioning for today.
So, yeah, then on to the NBA. Last night, the Phoenix Suns take down the Clippers on a last-second alley-oop play. What a phenomenal play that was that game in the last few minutes, it seems like the refs had some crazy, made calls where they were reviewing everything every 5 seconds. Like, it seems like the last 20 seconds of that game took a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
On that last, all because Clippers wanted that ball reviewed on if it was inbounds or out of bounds, because they ruled it Suns ball, and then they went to review it. That gave time for Phoenix Suns to draw up a play. Coach Monty Williams drew that up, and they executed. If they never would have complained about the who knows what type of play or where, because they would have been inballing the ball by next to the bench instead of over in the corner. So different spot, all that stuff. So it's very interesting to see how that all worked out. And then shout out to D-Book for taking a broken nose early in the game and toughing it out and playing all the way through. So that's very tough when you can't breathe through your nose and you gotta work out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was an awesome game to watch at the end there. Like you said, it felt like it took forever for the last 2-3 minutes, let alone the last 20 seconds for them. But at the same time, as frustrating as it is, you're like, I just want to watch, everybody's just pumped and hyped to see how the game is going to end. It's good for the refs to slow the game down, make sure they have everything right, make sure there's no controversy to where they left a gray area questionable, and after the game, if they fucked up with this and it would have went the Clippers way and this and that, and it's like, take the extra 5 minutes, take the extra 10 minutes, go to a media timeout, make sure you get everything right. One thing being right before they were trying to inbound it, because the Clippers didn't have a timeout. So when Ayton had that dunk, all 10 players who were on the court had to stay on the court because there's not a timeout. So basically, they only stopped time just to kind of make sure there wasn't goaltending, make sure it was a good basket, and then confirm how much time was left on the clock. But if they wouldn't have done all that, basically the dunk would have happened. Clippers would have grabbed it, inbounded it, and then they would have had to have a play ready on the spot. So they had to keep all 10 guys or all 5 guys from each team on the court, and there was one guy who wasn't in on the play that was trying to inbound, so that added another 5 minutes for them to sort that out and figure out who's supposed to be on the court, who's not, that kind of thing. So, but at the same time, I feel like that was more the Clippers did that on purpose so that they could find time to drop a play, because that at the professional level, that's a rule that is common sense, that if it's continuous play, there's no substitution. All 10 guys stay on the court and you got to keep playing. So they're playing stupid so they could draw up a play. And that's basically all it was. And Paul George had the shot. Not that it would have.
He had the 2 free throws first.
Yeah, he had the 2 free throws that he missed. And then the shot that he had to try to win / tie it. The buzzer went off before it even left his hand. So it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But yeah, I mean, the Clippers, they have a tall task to go home and try to even the series in games 3 and 4.
They've been down 0-2 their first 2 series and came back and won. So,
so we'll see what happens there. I could see the Clippers winning at least one of them, although I think the Suns will steal one of them on the road, especially because there's talks going right into this point that Chris Paul is hopeful to be back for tomorrow's game as well.
He's gonna play and Book's gonna sit, I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they played well without Chris Paul, and if Chris Paul can come in and match what D-Book has done, which he easily could and probably will, let Booker rest as much as he needs to.
Because he's gonna play. Because he came out on Instagram and said, "Don't worry, I'll have a mask ready." And then he put a picture of LeBron, all the people who've wore masks, and he was just put out a thing like he's getting one made. So he'll be playing, but I just think you don't need to run him into the ground now. Especially when you're getting Chris Paul back too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and when you're 2 wins away from an NBA Finals, you don't want to push the guy past his limit to the point that
gets hurt.
He can't play at all, to where he messes up something worse with his nose to where it's unplayable, even if he has a mask. But
Yeah, one thing last night that I was shocked watching the ball that went out. I forgot who it was. I think it was Rondo that played defense, touched the ball. Booker had the ball, had it. Guy touched the ball, and then like it pushed it into Booker's hand, and it touched his
Oh,
hand,
yep.
and the announcers are like, "This is terrible for basketball." Almost every single time down the court, guy who knocks the ball away, it's the guy who forces the ball to like go out of bounds. It's not the last guy that touches it. Well, it's the last guy that touches it clearly because the NBA, the refs ruled it that way. So I don't know what NBA, the guys who were announcing were talking about. Maybe that's how it used to be back in the old days, but they called it the last guy who touched it. It doesn't matter who forces the ball or what. It's whoever it touches last, it's the other team's ball.
Yeah, because there's plenty of times where a guy's driving under the basket, guy comes in, swats it, and it goes off a foot or your knee and goes out. Well, it went off your foot or your knee, so it's the other team's ball. So,
That was just interesting. Whoever was
yeah.
saying that.
Or it's smart too when a ball's flying out of bounds, the guy will jump, grab it, and throw it at an opposing player so that they can keep possession. It's a part of the game. Yeah, it sucks to be the guy on the other side of it. If your team's on the other side of the situation and it causes you to lose the game, but at the same time, like that's not an easy play to pull off either, because you go to throw it at a guy and he's paying attention, he just grabs it and like it's a high risk, high reward kind of thing. So I don't know why those guys were kind of giving it flack, but yeah, I mean the refs got it right either way. It would have been different if they called it wrong and then this and that, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and then going into the game tonight, then Milwaukee Bucks, Atlanta Hawks, the game one. Again, in Milwaukee, the Bucks will have home court advantage for this series. They're currently, I think, 8-point favorites for game one. This should be a sweep, if not done in 5 games as well.
Bucks got to play though.
Yeah, it's got to be a matter of shutting down Trae Young. Again, all the teams that are left right now, well, minus the Clippers because they lean heavily on Paul George and Kawhi to show up and do their part. Otherwise, they can't win a game. But the Suns play really good team basketball. They got to get production from everybody. Same with the Suns and same with the Hawks. Yes, Trae Young is kind of the head of that team, but
we'll see with the Clippers too.
Yeah, I don't know because there's not. I mean, aside from
they need scoring from everyone to win.
Yeah, I guess I suppose
Paul George, he led the game in scoring last night, and they still lost.
Yeah, I suppose at this point in the season, you have to be playing all-around team basketball to have a chance.
Individuals can't win. KD tried, and look.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's a perfect example. James Harden and Kevin Durant tried to put Harden didn't do a whole lot, so it was basically Durant trying to put the team on his back, and
he almost did it. Kudos, but if he would have had to do it again another round, there's no way. There's no way that's sustainable. Like, yeah, you could maybe steal one game like he did, but to have to do it consecutively, that's very, very difficult to do. I mean, I don't think anybody is capable of doing that.
No, and he's arguably the best player in the world right now. So if he can't do it, nobody else is going to.
According to Steve Kerr, potentially of all time.
Oh yeah, I saw that. How he's saying that he thinks there's parts of Kevin Durant's game that was better than MJ's. Yeah,
and that he's just a different. He's just a different breed, in which he is, dude. Like Jordan wasn't 7 feet tall and can move like that and dribble and shoot. Like he's a one of a kind. He's a one of a kind talent in basketball, and that's just it is what it is. You can't take that away from him because he's dominated since college. And everybody's always wondered, how good is he going to do? How good is he going to do? Because he's really skinny and he's not all this and all that. He shut everybody up by dropping 60 points in their face. Like he's unbelievable.
For sure. And then I guess the last point to throw out there again, somebody else kind of getting in trouble. Alex Caruso from the Lakers got arrested yesterday for possession of marijuana in Texas, right?
Yeah. Did you happen to see Stephen A. Smith on that?
Oh, with his lay off the weed. Yeah, because that was a bit that from years ago. I can't remember who.
No, it was from who on the Miami Heat?
Bosh?
Nope. Ate the gummies on the plane, got sick, then was supposed to show up and ended up getting high and not going to a certain it was a guy who was like, he was good. He played for the Heat, and then I think they waiters.
Oh, was Damian Waiters? Hold on, let me see.
I think it's
Miami
Dion Waiters, maybe.
Weed guy. Weed gummies. Look at that. Pops right up. Yep, Dion Waiters has panic attack after eating
edibles on the plane. Yeah, dude. He had to call. They literally called the police and stuff to come because he was having a straight blown panic attack.
Oh shit! They gave him a 10-game suspension for that.
Yeah, and then after he was supposed to come back for a team meeting, he was supposed to be somewhere for a team meeting, and he ended up getting high. I don't know if that was eating edibles or smoking it, but he ended up missing two mandatory team meetings because he was just gone.
Jeez.
I think they cut him after that.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks being in your home state being a legal state and then you get caught within a different state. I mean, obviously you have to be aware of the rules of where you are. Just even though you're a professional athlete, the law still applies to you. So, I mean, I don't know how much he had on him. It didn't sound like
it was under 2 ounces.
Oh, okay.
He had a grinder, a pipe, and under 2 ounces of weed.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know what I guess
in Texas, I'm pretty sure that's not good.
Oh,
because I think they're one of the. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that they're one of the states that's more harsh on it because they are a border state. So I'm sure they get umpteen million pounds coming through illegally trafficked. So I'm pretty sure that they don't like the weed down there.
Oh, yeah. Between them and isn't like them in Indiana are kind of the two. Basically, going to be the last 2 states to legalize it, probably.
If I had to put money on it, I'd say Indiana would be the last one. But that's just my guess. Maybe Wisconsin too, though, because of the amount of alcohol sales that Wisconsin gets.
Yeah.
Too. So depends how much power the alcohol companies really have. That's going to be the deterrent, whether or not it does happen here or not.
Pretty much. Yeah. Any other NBA points to throw out there?
No, not on the NBA, but I had a WNBA point. 1 second here. Should have been prepared for this. There was a woman basketball player. There's a woman basketball player who got snubbed from making the Olympic team, and Candace Parker spoke out and was basically disgusted with all the people who made the selections for the thing. This chick's won everything. She's been to all her training sessions and all this stuff. And basically she said when the competition committee says that there's too many good athletes and all this other type of stuff, that's just complete bullshit.
Too many good athletes. That's what you want in the Olympics. You want to have too many good athletes.
I know, and you want the best of the best. And it was just something about how there's going to be a feud now with how the competition committee gets to pick some of the athletes because they don't necessarily always pick the best ones. They pick the biggest names or the biggest stories, which is bullshit. It should be the best athletes go no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
It's like for the U.S. Olympic trials, the guy who has the world record in the 800 meter. He's an American. He fucking finished dead last in the final for the 800 meter. He's not even going to Tokyo, and he's the world record holder. That's sports for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how they. Yeah, that's dumb. But at the same time, you're on that committee. It's what's going to get the most clicks, the most views, all this and that.
Money.
Yeah, so that sucks. But I don't know. It seems like, I mean, especially with like the NCAA kind of getting cracked down and just like other organizations finally getting some light shed on some areas that need fixing. Hopefully, this is another one that gets some light shed on it and where somebody higher up either gets the boot or some kind of policy or something gets in place to so that this doesn't happen to people. Obviously, if you're one of the best people on the planet in your sport, you deserve the chance, especially if they've been showing up and putting in the time in the training facilities and meeting qualifier uh marks to like move to the next level and all this and that, just to not make it because the person next to you has a more recognizable last name or has a bigger contract with Nike than you do or whatever it might be. Like that's bullshit. But yeah, so then I'll move on here to the MLB for a handful of things. Wander Franco hits a home run in his MLB debut last night. Super cool to watch. His dad was there's a
In the
clip
stadium.
in the stadium videotaping it, going nuts. They ended up losing the game in 11 innings, I think is what it was. So they didn't get the W, but still, to hit a home run in your MLB debut is pretty damn awesome. But
Especially with your dad there watching too. That's
yeah,
awesome.
The Nats topped the Phillies in a heated game yesterday. Max Scherzinger searched multiple times for substances per the Phillies manager's request. There's a handful of times where after a strikeout, the ump will walk out to the mound. He just throw down his hat, his belt, everything, and just basically like, search me. I got nothing. So they play again tonight. I think it's the last game of that series. So we'll see if there's more bad blood there that happens and if there's more ejections. The Phillies manager actually ended up getting ejected for barking too much. So the
You
Brewers
think that they got to stop this in baseball, though, dude? These games are taking forever.
yeah,
now.
if every time a pitcher throws a good pitch and the opposing manager's like, oh, that was kind of sus, let's go to the mound and check him out. It's like, no, you're gonna the game's gonna slow down. You're gonna have a lot more ejections, a lot more.
They should find a way to, if a coach is going to do it, there's people in the dugout waiting for the pitcher to get into the dugout where they check him in the dugout right away so the game can continue to move on.
Yeah. Yeah,
you ain't going to be able to get rid of anything from your spot on the dugout to the dugout without anybody seeing anything or something. You know, the only thing would be handing something off to somebody. But then at that point, you could just make it every person gets checked for a quick little sweep that nobody's got anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's going to boil over at some point here because eventually you're going to have people, you're going to have pitchers.
You're going to have fans stop watching the game because of this.
And you're going to have pitchers start throwing. You're going to have more hit batters because pitchers are going to be getting frustrated and basically lashing out. Man, the opposing manager's like, oh, check that guy. All right, fuck you then. I'm going to ding your batter. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to boil over at some point. The MLB is going to have to fix it. Hopefully they fix it before then, but they won't until something
hopefully
crazy.
Playoffs.
Yeah, which that's a long ways away. If they don't fix it by then they're definitely fucking up. But yeah, I don't know. We'll obviously continue to dive into it as stuff keeps developing. But continuing here, then the Brewers, they took down the D-backs last night 5-0. They ended up losing game 1 in Arizona, which the D-backs ended up breaking their 17-game losing streak. And then yeah, they have their last one tonight. Brewers again still right at the top of the NL Central with the Cubs. The Tampa Bay Rays have gone cold after a stellar beginning to the month and climbing to the top of the division. They're now losers of 7 straight. And then the last big point in the MLB world, Mattress Mac, a Houston furniture store owner, placed a $2 million bet yesterday. Now up to $3 million total in wagers that he has for the Astros to win the World Series. The $2 million bet alone was a 10-1 odds, so the payout would be 20 million if they ended up going the distance on that. And if he wins that $2 million wager, it would be the largest win in sports betting history. So obviously this guy's doing something right. If you're a furniture store owner and you got $2 million to throw around, obviously he's got to be doing something else, or he's got the
got a
only
lot of money.
furniture store in fucking Houston if he's got that kind of money. But yeah, that was the last point for the MLB.
Sounds good. And then jumping over to hockey real quick. Last night, the Montreal Canadiens take down the Vegas Golden Knights 4-1 in Vegas. One win away from the final. Incredible game. They just look like a team that isn't going to lose right now. I was interested to see that they went right back to Marc-Andre Fleury for a game without letting him rest. Another game. That was very surprising to me. They're now going to have a very important decision that they're going to have to make for the next game here. Who are they going to start in net, as Fleury is 1-3 against Montreal this series, and Leonard is 1-0. So it's going to be very interesting to see who they rock with between the pipes. Coach came out and said that there's no reason to panic. We've been in this position before. Every team has been in this position before. You know, you're always at some point you've been on the brink of elimination. Montreal, they were that way in the first round. I want to say it was game 4 is when they turned it on, and they've never looked back. And then on the other side, Tampa Bay Lightning, they crushed the New York Islanders 8-0 the other night. Superstar Matt Barzal for the Islanders ended up getting a 5-game suspension for cross-checking. Many people were wondering if he was going to get assessed a game suspension or not, because the Department of Player Safety has gone suspension or no suspension on a handful of these issues. He was assessed the max fine, which is $5,000. There will be no suspension, so he will be back on the ice tonight for the New York Islanders. Look for the Tampa Bay Lightning to get some revenge on that. I think they're going to be coming after him hard all game long. If not, going to, ask him to dance, and he's going to have to drop the gloves and stand up for the cross check that he gave the guy in the face. Lou Lamoriello, the New York Islanders general manager, he was honored the general manager of the year for the second season in a row. After an incredible, what they've continued to do to the New York Islanders in this last 3 years, basically go from the bottom to Eastern Conference Finals and the semifinals 2 years in a row now. Unfortunately, you do have to face the juggernaut of the Tampa Bay Lightning with it seems like everybody on their team right now is in full go. This last game that they played, it was boys against men. It looked like it was grown men playing against little kids. Yeah, all I can say is if New York Islanders, if they go down, I think it's over. Tampa steps on your throat. And one interesting stat for the first time in NHL history, the 5 leading scorers in the postseason are all 5 members of the Tampa Bay Lightning's first power play line. They're all 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in scoring in the postseason. So that's pretty impressive that you have 5 guys in your power play just dominating the whole entire Stanley Cup playoffs. That's what they do, though. That's how their team is built. Yeah, very interesting to see, as you kind of have 2 similar matchups. Islanders and Montreal sort of the same, and then you have Vegas and Tampa kind of the same. It's really interesting, like all these goalies are just phenomenal, and Carey Price, for what he's doing for Montreal, if they end up winning the Stanley Cup, I think he deserves the MVP. He has stood on his head, been unbelievable this whole playoffs long, and it's just been him. Same with Tampa's goalie. They've played every single minute. They have not came out where the other goalies have had backups and they've substituted in and out. These 2 goalies have played every single minute between the pipes, and that's tough to do. That's very tough to do as a goalie, especially in today's style NHL where they're a lot more on their knees and moving side to side, like their hips, a lot more wear and tear on your hips and stuff like that. So really cool to see that. And then last thing I have really is Carl Gunnerman, who scored the overtime goal during the 2019 Stanley Cup run for the St. Louis Blues to win them their Stanley Cup. He is retiring. He's set to retire. So shout out to you for winning the Stanley Cup, St. Louis, bringing them their first title. So go off into the sunset with your ring. That's awesome that you got to do that. And then that's all I got here. Tampa's probably going to close out New York tonight. So for those of you who want to watch that, go ahead and watch that. Otherwise, you said the Bucks are on it, right? 7:30.
I believe 7:30. That's what they've been, but also since it's games every other night instead of it's 7:30.
Oh yeah, and then shout out Cole Caulfield again, scoring again. It's amazing to see what he's done ever since he's been entered into the lineup. He didn't play games 1 or 2, I think, in the first round. He's been in ever since, and he's dominated. I think he has 13 points in like 15 games. Almost a point per game guy. Very dominant out there. And then before the game yesterday, Robin Leonard of the Vegas Golden Knights commented and said, yeah, I knew where Caulfield was going when he was coming down on his breakaway. I studied his moves. And then Caulfield said, oh, that's pretty cool that he was studying my moves, but I got something for him. And sure enough, scores. And when teammates are asked about Cole Caulfield and just what type of guy he is, people call him a superstar. People say he is very good and he's very confident in what he knows how to do out there on the ice. And that's why they give him the puck, because he knows where to put it. And that's all I got.
Cool. Yeah, that's all I had for today as well. One thing to mention again, we recorded an episode last week with Stadium Scene TV that is going live today on Stadium Scene. I will be releasing that tomorrow right here on our YouTube channel. And then again, listening to it on our audio platforms as well. So kind of a bonus episode for you guys here this week.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for stopping by the show. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe to our channel. You can go to YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere and everywhere online. Go to Google, type in a League of Their Own podcast. You can go ahead and click on that link and bring over to our YouTube channel. We also have the link for our merch store in there as well as to all of our other platforms. You can also check out all of our partnerships as well in case you want to stop by and feel like buying something. Don't forget to use our code in there. You can save yourself whatever % discount. I believe they're all 20% right now. So go ahead and do that. Sorry, I had a little bug in my throat here. You can also stop to Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere that's associated with Anchor, as they're one of our sponsors here. Anywhere that they're affiliated with, you can check us out there. Also on the Google and Apple Podcasts, don't forget to give us don't forget to go in the bio and give us 5 stars for the reason why. You can say that we made you do it. It doesn't matter what you put in there for whatever reason. The algorithm is all based on the 5 stars. So it helps us move up the charts and get some more views and support. So that would be very appreciated if you guys did that. And yeah, that's kind of all I got for you guys. We will be back on Friday. Hopefully the Bucks get a big win tonight, and yeah, go Wisconsin. And that'd be if the Bucks end up winning it. I'm just gonna put this out here. If the Bucks end up winning it, we're gonna go down to the parade and we'll do some sort of filmed content, something for you guys as far as
down in Milwaukee.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, if they win, we'll be at the parade. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sounds good. We'll see you guys then on Friday.